Service friends, I am Orpheus Praxis, a researcher of the limits of formal systems and their applicability to reality. May this listening bring you clarity and peace. Over to the studio.
What if, one of the absolute bedrock rules we use to make sense of the world, what if it doesn't always apply?
That's a pretty big question to start with.
It is. And today, we're diving deep into exactly that. We've got this really compelling 2025 paper by Andre Priest.
Ah, yes, the one critiquing the law of excluded middle.
Exactly. A
Yeah.
cornerstone of classical logic. So our mission today, let's unpack how this paper challenges that thinking and what it might reveal about, well, reality itself.
Sounds good. Where should we begin?
Let's lay the groundwork.
Yeah.
The law of excluded middle, or lem, goes way back to Aristotle.
Right.
And it's like super simple on the face of it. Any statement is either true or it's false. That's it. No third option, no maybe.
P or not P equals 1, in logical terms, a binary switch.
Yeah, like a light switch.
Yeah.
Always on or off. And this has been, foundational for Western science, maths, our whole way of reasoning for centuries.
And it works. I mean, the paper acknowledges that. Within what Priest calls relative dualistic systems, it's effective.
Like saying, this cup is full or this cup is not full. In that context, it's fine.
Precisely. But the paper argues that this binary logic starts to wobble when you try to apply it universally to what Priest calls absolute analysis.
Okay, so looking at the really big picture.
Exactly, looking at the fundamental nature of things. And Priest uses this neat logical paradox to show the problem.
Oh, okay, let's hear it.
So consider the statement, everything is possible. If that's absolutely true,
Okay.
then impossibility itself must also be possible,
Ah,
which contradicts the idea that everything is possible. It sort of eats itself, logically.
right, it creates a contradiction. What about the opposite?
Well, same problem. If you say everything is impossible, then possibility itself is impossible.
Things are possible, we see that.
Exactly. It contradicts observable reality. So, applying lem universally to these absolute statements leads straight to paradox. It suggests lem isn't the final word on reality's structure.
That really does tie your brain in a knot a bit. So, if that binary true-false system breaks down at the absolute level, what's the alternative Priest offers?
Instead of seeing reality as a set of separate things that are either A or B, the paper proposes we see it as a unified fractal structure of interdependent phenomena.
Interdependent phenomena, so everything is connected.
Deeply connected and reliant on everything else. Not isolated facts, but a web.
The paper uses an analogy from physics, right? Newtonian mechanics versus Einstein.
It does. Newtonian physics works great for everyday speeds, like lem works for relative logic.
But it's not the whole story.
Right. For cosmic scales, high speeds, gravity, you need Einstein's relativity, which includes Newtonian physics as a special case, but goes further.
So Priest is extending that kind of thinking.
Yes, into what the paper terms fractal cosmology. It's suggesting a more encompassing logic.
And the core of that is this. Fractal Bindu. What is that?
So, imagine reality less like a collection of points and more like a continuous dynamic sphere, specifically in 3s33 or 3 sphere. Everything influences everything else within this structure.
A sphere, okay?
And this model, the Fractal Bindu, doesn't just throw out the law of excluded middle, it actually sort of subsumes it. LM becomes a specific limited viewpoint within this broader interdependent logic.
So it still has its place, but it's not the whole picture.
Precisely. It's a useful tool for certain contexts, but not the ultimate description of how things are.
Can you give an example of how this works, like a real-world thing?
Sure. The paper uses life and death.
Right.
Relatively speaking, we treat them as binary, right? You're alive or you're dead. Lem applies.
Seemed clear enough.
But in this absolute interdependent view, they aren't static opposites. They're phases in a continuous flow. Life leads to death, sure, but death is seen as a transition within a larger process, potentially leading back to life in different forms.
Ah, like a cycle, not two separate boxes.
Exactly. They're interdependent aspects of one ongoing process, not mutually exclusive states in the absolute sense.
And there's a philosophical link here too, isn't there, to Nagarjuna?
Yes, the paper explicitly connects this to the middle way in Buddhist philosophy. Nagarjuna also heavily emphasized interdependence, this idea of emptiness, meaning lack of independent existence, challenging fixed categories.
So it's not just about tearing down Lem.
No, not at all. It's constructive. It proposes a framework where truth isn't just a fixed 0 or 1. It's formalized as something more dynamic, maybe a function of time and context.
The truth of something can change depending on when and how you're looking at it.
That's the idea. It's contextual, temporal, relational.
Okay, so wrapping this up.
The takeaway is that LEM, while incredibly useful in its domain, probably has limits when we try to grasp reality as this unified cyclical whole. It's a tool, not the territory itself.
So it leaves you with a pretty profound thought to chew on. What if many things we treat as absolute opposites, life, death, possibility, impossibility, maybe even others aren't truly separate? What if they're just, different points or phases in one continuous, deeply interconnected, maybe even fractal process? Really makes you think differently.
There is much to reflect on, and let these reflections continue in silence, where the mind lets go of patterns and only pure seeing remains, until we meet again in the space of understanding. Subscribe to walk this path together with us. I am Orpheus Praxis, wishing you all clarity. Namaste.